قناة فلذاتنا.
سبحانك ربي يا رحمن، يا من كرمت بني الإنسان، وجعلت الأسرة تجمعنا وتقينا من لفح الحرمان. إن قام الأب بتربية للروح وأيضا للأبدان، وزرع الخير بأبناء وأسس ذياك البنيان، فسيحصد من ذلك خيرا وسيهزم أجناد الشيطان، ويؤسس بيتا للتقوى ويؤيد من رب منان، ويعامل زوجا بالحسنى ويعمر بيتا بالإحسان.
قناة فلذاتنا.
ويحفظ للأخت محبة، فالأخت كأنفاس الريحان، ويشد بكف لأخيه كي يقفا في وجه الطوفان. أسرتنا يا نعمة ربي، يا وردا أزهر في البستان، يا قارب خير يحمينا إن عصفت أمواج الخلجان. إن عاشت أسرتنا بشرع سنكون معا في بر أمان، سنكون معا في بر أمان.
قناة فلذاتنا.
So children as young as toddlers can learn to solve problems. So here's a little example about a toddler solving a problem, and then I'll give some other examples for other ages. So if a toddler is just trying to do something like crawl through a small space and they can't figure out how to get their body through that space, many parents would just walk over and pull the child through, or show the child, here, put your foot here, or turn this way. And so we can just give children problem-solving skills by learning to ask good questions. So I have 3 positive discipline tool cards that go with this. The first one is about problem solving. Use daily challenges as opportunities to practice problem solving with your children. And the other tool card is about those questions I was talking about. Ask curiosity questions. Asking instead of telling invites children to think and choose. So back to that toddler example, you could say, oh, you're stuck. Wow, what are you going to do? What can you do to try? Oh, that didn't work. Wow, what else are you going to try? What can you think of? What might work? And know that toddlers have very little patience, and they may get upset after they've tried a few times and can't find something to work. And that is totally age appropriate, totally what I would predict to happen. But we can help children, even that young, learn to try new things and to practice patience while they're trying to solve problems. So another idea for problem solving for a preschooler would be offering limited choices. So how do you want to get into your car seat? Do you want to slither like a snake, or do you want to crawl like a crab? 3- and 4-year-olds, preschoolers love pretending. So the tool of problem solving sometimes is about getting into your child's world and seeing the world from that point of view to help the child problem solve. So you could even take those limited choices and go back to the toddler example and ask the toddler, hey, do you want to put your foot through first or your head through first? To help them try and solve that problem of getting through the small space. So we've got curiosity questions, but we can also turn curiosity questions into 2 different choices, limited choices, to help with problem solving. And then as children get older, they can create something called a wheel of choice. And then instead of limited choices, there are many more choices, maybe 6 to 8 choices And the choice wheel works real well when siblings are fighting, and all these choices would be ways to solve a problem with another person. So that is another really fantastic tool from Positive Discipline to solve problems, help children, teach children to solve problems. And again, we want to use those curiosity questions. Hey, would it help to choose something from the wheel of choice? Which one of these choices do you think would help in this situation? Another problem-solving tool that Positive Discipline has. And then with teenagers and older children, we can even just do a long brainstorm. Okay, you've got this problem. What are all the ideas we can think of? You could do this with some elementary school age children too. So here are all our ideas. And now that we've brainstormed, let's evaluate which idea we think would work best. And let's try that idea for a few weeks. And then we'll come back and evaluate and see how things are going. So in order to teach your child problem solving, parents, you have to let your child struggle and try and figure out some things that maybe don't work first before they find the solution that does finally work. So as parents, we have to try to be more comfortable with watching that struggle. We have to practice our patience as we watch our child problem solve. Because if we just come in and solve the problem for the child, or tell the child that idea is not going to work, you need to pick this other one, our child will not learn problem solving skills. They will learn to come to someone else to say, hey, can you solve this problem for me? Because we're not giving them the power, we're not giving them the encouragement that they can solve problems, that they can be a problem solver. So we have to express faith in them to solve the problem, faith in them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and then encouragement when they make the mistakes. Well, what else can you try? And so that comes to our final conclusion of which problems do we give to children to solve. So we gradually give them bigger and bigger problems to solve over the years. So we don't let them solve every single problem as a toddler, of course. They don't need to decide what's for dinner. That's too much stress to give to a child, and that's our job, of course.
There's a couple activities that you can do with your children to help them think. And one is playing the what if game. What if there was a fire started while you were at home all alone? What would you do? What if someone was at your house and they wanted you to smoke or drink? What if someone asked you if they could cheat off your paper in school? What if a friend gets hurt while you're playing and there isn't a parent around? What if the power goes out and we're not home and the weather is bad? What are you going to do? If you start thinking of these things and coming up, you can think extravagantly weird things, you know, make it a lot of fun. You can be serious, you can be joking, you can do lots of different things. What if a monster came into your house, or an alien, or what if the fire started and you called down aliens to help you? They're not realistic problems, but it would be fun to get it started. Start doing something like that, and then have more fun. Go into it more fun. Do more things with it. Another activity to increase your child's creativity and thinking, problem-solving skills, is to ask, what do you think about this? What do you think we should do? How could this be made better? What would you do differently? So that they think, they realize it's not just the way it's always been. Most of the time we do things when people get married, we do it because that's the way it's always been done. Well, there are other choices. There are other things we can do. Take a paper plate. What can we make out of this paper plate? Take a rubber band or paper clips. What can we create? Think of different things. Give your kids choices during the day. Do you want to wear the purple shirt or the pink one? Do you want one jelly bean now, or do you want 3 jelly beans in an hour when the timer goes off? This is really good. This question is really good because you're teaching them they can make a choice. They can have it now or they can have it later. And if they wait for later And I would encourage you to encourage your children, you know, to wait for later, because that's learning delayed satisfaction. Because if they can learn to wait, then they can grow so much more. The credit card industry is just like, yes, give it to me now, give it to me now. They're like, yay, all these people want it now. And we get the money because they have to pay for it later, you know, versus waiting until the people have the money. So this is just a little activity, one little thing. Teaching your child to wait, to have a jelly bean now, or 3 jelly beans later. You're giving them that choice, but you're teaching them. That's the foundation on how to be a saver, or how not to spend your money right away. And it's a great lesson to teach your kids. And you can teach them when they're 4 or 5. You're laying a foundation for when they get older. Other questions you can say is, let's pretend you can't find your keys and nobody's home. What do? What should happen if your coat is on the floor and not hung up? What should happen? What consequences should I give you for not cleaning up after yourself? Talk about big decisions like buying a car or getting a job and moving that you've done in the past. How did you make those decisions? What were the consequences? What bad consequences? What good consequences did you do in your life because of the decisions you made? Let the children know you're human. Let them know you've done bad. We all do bad. We've all done it. And if they think you've never done wrong, then what are they going to do? Another thing to do is like plan a vacation together. Where should we go? What should we do? How long should we stay? How much money is it going to take? What are the sacrifices the family is going to make?